Welcome to Zoe Stories. I lost a challenge. Now I'm the queen of them all. The rain tapped against the window like impatient fingers. Outside, the city buzzed with life. Neon lights blinking against wet pavement, cars whooshing by like restless ghosts. But inside their third-floor apartment, everything felt still.
Warm.
Familiar.
Safe.
Ryan sat on the edge of the couch, elbows on his knees, fingers drumming against his temples as he stared blankly at the paused game on the TV screen. He'd just lost. And not just in the digital world. From the kitchen, the sound of bare feet padded closer, then a soft thump as a pillow smacked him in the face. "You seriously thought you could beat me at Mario Kart?" Emma's voice was half teasing, half triumphant. Ryan peeled the pillow away and looked up. Emma stood there in one of his oversized hoodies, grinning like a cat who'd just caught the mouse. Her hair was tied up in a messy bun, a few strands falling around her cheekbones. She always had that playful glint in her eye, but tonight it sparkled just a little brighter. "I was close," Ryan grumbled. Emma plopped down next to him, curling her feet underneath herself. "Close isn't a win." "I let you win," he said weakly. "You did not, you little liar." She nudged him with her shoulder. "A bet's a bet." Ryan's stomach twisted. He remembered the casual challenge she'd made earlier that evening, back when he'd still felt confident. "Okay," she'd said, "if I win you have to do something totally out of your comfort zone." My pick. And because he was cocky, or maybe just desperate to impress her for once, he'd said yes. Now he was regretting everything. Emma leaned forward, locking eyes with him. "Are you ready to hear what you're going to do?" Ryan gulped. "That depends. Is it legal?" She smirked. "Even better." He tried to match her confidence, but his voice wavered. "Lay it on me." She paused, just for dramatic effect, and then said, "You're going to let me give you a full makeover. Hair, makeup, outfit. Head to toe. You don't get to say no." Ryan blinked. He opened his mouth, closed it, then opened it again. "You're joking, right?" "Not even a little," she said sweetly. "You lost the challenge and you promise." His brain scrambled for a way out. "Emma?" "No backing out," she interrupted. "I've always wanted a dress-up doll." He chuckled nervously. "I'm not exactly Barbie material." "You'd be surprised." Her voice softened a bit. "Besides, I think it'll be fun. You might even like it." He tried to keep his expression neutral, but inside, his heart was pounding for all the wrong and right reasons. Because the truth was, this wasn't some random humiliation fantasy. This wasn't a joke to him. Not really. For as long as he could remember, Ryan had been fascinated by feminine things. Silky fabrics, lip gloss, high heels. It wasn't just about how they looked, it was how they felt. Empowering, intoxicating, forbidden. But he'd buried it.
Deep. For years.
His childhood home was the kind of place where boys were boys, and feelings were things you locked up. His dad would have had a heart attack if he'd seen Ryan eyeing his sister's makeup kit when he thought no one was looking. So Ryan played the role. Quiet, tech-savvy, a little awkward but dependable. He worked part-time at Circuit Wave, a mid-sized electronics store tucked in the heart of a mall, and came home to Emma most nights. On paper, his life was ordinary.
Safe.
But there was one part of him no one knew. Not Emma. Not anyone. Now, that secret was standing at the edge of exposure, and Emma had no idea. "I mean," he started cautiously. "Isn't that kind of a weird punishment?" She raised an eyebrow. "You scared?" Ryan shrugged. "Not scared. Just skeptical." Emma smiled. "Good. We'll do it tomorrow." And that was that. The rain outside continued its rhythm. Inside, Ryan leaned back into the couch and tried to process the wave of emotions crashing over him. What if she found out the truth? What if she saw something in him? Some flicker of desire when she put a wig on his head or zipped up a dress and pulled away. Would she laugh? Judge him? Leave? He didn't know. But part of him, a deeply buried part he had never fed, felt something else. Anticipation. Not fear. Not dread. Something dangerous. Excitement. That night, he couldn't sleep. Emma lay beside him, sound asleep, her hand resting against his chest. He stared at the ceiling, heart thudding, his thoughts racing. The idea of her dressing him up, it should have filled him with shame. But instead, it felt like the lock on a long-forgotten door had finally turned. Would this just be a game to her? Could it be something more to him? Ryan didn't know the answer. Not yet. But tomorrow, everything would change. The scent of coffee wafted into the bedroom long before Ryan dared open his eyes. He heard movement, drawers opening, hangers clinking, the occasional squeak of excitement. Then, rise and shine, loser. Emma's voice was way too cheerful for 8 a.m. Ryan groaned and rolled over, burying his face in the pillow. Tell me that was a dream. She yanked the blanket off. Nope. Get up. The beauty gods are waiting. He peeked at her through sleepy eyes and froze. Emma stood at the foot of the bed wearing a silky pink robe, hair in rollers, with a makeup brush tucked behind one ear like a paintbrush on an artist. Her eyes sparkled with mischief. And on the vanity behind her, chaos. Eyeshadow palettes, lipsticks, curling irons, and something that looked suspiciously like a padded bra. You've been planning this? He asked. Emma winked. I may have started around 6 a.m. Ryan groaned again, but a small smile tugged at the corner of his lips. He got up, stretched, and followed her into the living room where she'd laid out everything like a professional stylist.
Wigs.
Outfits.
Jewelry.
She clapped her hands like a teacher on the first day of class. Let's begin. He sat in the chair, hesitant, unsure, but didn't protest. Not really. Okay, she said, tying a pink towel around his shoulders. We start with skincare. You do wash your face, right? Most days, he muttered. She rolled her eyes and smoothed cleanser onto his face, massaging it in gentle circles. You're lucky you have good skin. The feeling of her fingers on his cheeks was oddly comforting. Intimate. He closed his eyes. Next came toner, moisturizer, and some serum she swore by. All the while, she hummed a song he didn't recognize, completely in her element. When she picked up the foundation, he tensed slightly. Emma caught it. Hey, she said softly. You still okay? Ryan looked at her, at the kindness in her eyes, and nodded. I'm good, he whispered. Keep going. She smiled, leaned in, and began dabbing the sponge across his face. With each layer, foundation, concealer, powder, Ryan felt something shifting. His features blurred, then sharpened into something softer, smoother. Emma moved quickly but carefully. She shaped his brows with tiny strokes, framed his eyes with shades of bronze and rose gold, then added a touch of shimmer on the inner corners. She pulled out a pair of long false lashes and grinned. These are the dramatic kind. You ready? Ryan gave a tiny nod. The glue was cold, the lashes heavy. But once she placed them and told him to open his eyes, even he was stunned. His reflection blinked back at him, still him, but not.
Softer. Prettier.
Whoa, he muttered. Emma beamed. We're not done yet. She applied a dusty rose blush to his cheeks, a shimmering highlighter to the tops of his cheekbones, and then moved to lips. Pucker up. He chuckled and obeyed. She lined them carefully, then filled them in with a deep pink lipstick that glistened like candy. She stepped back and crossed her arms. Okay, she said. Now the hair. She rummaged through her collection of wigs and pulled out a honey blonde shoulder-length one with gentle curls. This one matches your skin tone, she explained as she adjusted the wig cap and slid it over his head. With practiced fingers, she brushed it into shape and secured it. When she was done, she tilted his chin up and said, Go look. Ryan walked to the mirror. He stared. It was him. And yet not him at all. The girl in the mirror had soft hazel eyes, delicate cheekbones, a full mouth. Framed by golden curls, she looked like someone who belonged in a music video or a boutique ad. Emma came up behind him and met his eyes in the mirror. You're gorgeous. Ryan turned toward her, lips parting. I look like a girl, she finished, smiling. A very pretty girl. His heart thudded against his ribs. There was no mockery in her tone. No sarcasm. Just admiration. Emma stepped back, picked up a hanger from the couch, and held it up.
Now.
Let's pick out your outfit, Miss Queen of them all. Ryan laughed, but it came out softer, more breathy than usual. Emma tossed him a pink ribbed crop top and a high-waisted pleated miniskirt. Try these. He hesitated only a second before slipping into the bathroom. Changing was surreal. The fabric was light, the skirt short, the feeling unlike anything he'd ever worn before. He stepped into the heels she'd left at the door, white strappy ones, and wobbled a little. When he stepped out, Emma gasped. Okay, wow. Ryan blushed visibly under the makeup. Emma circled him slowly, like a sculptor admiring her work. You are officially too pretty. He looked down at himself. The skirt barely brushed his thighs. The top clung to him. Every part of his body felt foreign, elegant, delicate. Do I really look like a girl? He asked. Emma tilted her head.
No.
His heart dropped. She smirked. You look like a goddess. Ryan let out a breathless laugh. He turned to the mirror again, and this time, he didn't look away. You've got to be kidding, Ryan whispered, staring at the mall entrance like it was a battlefield. Emma tugged on his hand. Come on, it's part of the deal. He glanced down at himself, miniskirt fluttering slightly in the breeze, heels wobbling with every breath, wig perfect, makeup flawless. On the outside, he looked like a normal, pretty teenage girl. On the inside, he was screaming. Emma, he hissed. People are going to see me. What if someone recognizes me? Or worse, laughs. Emma gave him a playful, but reassuring nudge. First of all, relax. You look amazing. No one's going to recognize you, and even if they did, they wouldn't believe it. Second, she grinned. You lost the challenge. He groaned. Why does losing a game mean losing my dignity? She rolled her eyes. Because you made the bet. Now come on. Be brave, Ryan. Or should I say, she paused dramatically, Riley. His eyes widened. Wait, Riley. Emma smirked. You need a girl name. Riley fits. It's cute.
Flirty. Totally you.
He didn't argue. He couldn't. Because suddenly she was pulling him forward, and his heels were clicking against the tiled floor of the mall. The cool air hit his skin, making the short skirt feel even shorter. His heart pounded. Every step felt like 1,000 eyes were watching him. But when he glanced around, nobody stared. People walked past, busy with their shopping, phones, conversations. Some glanced at him and Emma. A few smiled. One guy even did a quick double take. But no one laughed. No one pointed. Emma leaned close.
See?
You're passing. No big deal. He breathed a little easier, but the nerves didn't vanish completely. They stopped at a clothing store first. Emma dragged him in, rifling through racks of crop tops and sundresses with the glee of someone on a mission. Ryan followed, trying to keep his head down. But even as he avoided mirrors, he caught glimpses, long legs, glossy hair, swishing skirt, and for brief flashes, he forgot who he was. Emma handed him a dress. Go try this on, Riley. He blinked. I'm not really going to. She said. Your girl today. That includes fitting rooms. The changing room attendant smiled as she handed over the tag. Let me know if you need another size, hon. Hon. Ryan stepped inside, closed the curtain, and stared at his reflection. The girl in the mirror didn't look scared anymore. Nervous, yes, but there was something else. Curiosity. Maybe even excitement? He slipped into the dress. It fit perfectly. When he stepped out, Emma's jaw dropped. Oh my God, you're like a Disney princess going to brunch. He blushed hard and ducked back inside. They bought it. Next stop, the makeup counter. A young woman behind the counter greeted them with a huge smile. Hey, girls. Looking for anything in particular? Ryan stiffened, but Emma took charge. My friend Riley here is experimenting with a new look. Can you show her something cute? The woman smiled warmly at Ryan. Of course. You've got amazing cheekbones, Riley. He blinked. Thanks. She pulled out a peach-toned blush and dabbed a sample on his cheek. Ooh, yes. You're totally glowing. He met Emma's gaze, and she gave him a soft smile. One that said "Told you so." They left the counter with a new lip gloss. As they walked through the food court, a group of teenage boys passed by. One of them glanced at Ryan and did a slow head turn.
Hey, he called.
"You're cute." Ryan's stomach dropped. But Emma just looped her arm through his and whispered, "Congratulations, Riley. That's your first catcall." He should have hated it.
He didn't.
Next, they visited a shoe store. Ryan had just sat down to catch his breath when a salesgirl walked over and smiled. "Looking for anything specific, miss?" Ryan's brain short-circuited.
Miss.
That word echoed in his mind like a soft bell. He blinked up at the girl and managed a nod. Just browsing." She smiled and walked away. Emma grinned. "You okay?" He nodded.
Slowly.
"She called me miss." "I heard." He looked down at his painted nails, his glossy lips, the heels that didn't hurt quite as much anymore. "I don't hate it," he said quietly. Emma leaned in. "You don't just not hate it. You're loving this." He opened his mouth to argue, but nothing came out, because she was right. The fear hadn't vanished completely, but in its place was something new. Something warm and electric and thrilling. He was Riley now. And Riley was kind of radiant. "You did what?" Ryan blinked, the shopping bag swinging from his wrists. Emma grinned like a cat who'd just found the cream. "Booked us a salon appointment. Hair, nails, lashes, the full queen treatment." Ryan felt his stomach drop. "Emma, I thought we were just going to shop." She leaned in, eyes gleaming. "You lost the challenge, remember? That means I decide how far this goes." He tried to protest, but the words got tangled somewhere between his lip gloss and fear. This feels like too much. I'm already wearing a skirt in public. I've been catcalled." Emma gently put a hand on his arm. "Riley," she said softly, "you've already done way more than you thought you could. You're beautiful. You're brave. And you're kind of glowing."
He blushed.
"That's the highlighter." She laughed and pulled him toward the escalator. "Come on, glam girl. You've earned some pampering." The salon smelled of lavender and expensive shampoo. Soft music played in the background. Ryan hesitated at the entrance, but Emma gave him a reassuring nod. "2 appointments," she told the receptionist. "We want to leave here looking fabulous." The stylist who came to greet them was named Mia, a tall, effortlessly stylish woman with a dazzling smile. "Ooh, this one's got star potential," Mia said, looking Ryan up and down. "Let me guess, first makeover?" He nodded weakly. She winked. "Then we're gonna have some fun." Ryan was guided to a chair, and the moment he sat down, the transformation began. His nails came first. The nail technician filed, shaped, and painted his nails a glossy pale pink. "You've got great hands," she said. "Very elegant fingers." He watched, stunned, as each nail was turned into a work of art. By the time she finished, he couldn't stop staring at them. Next came the lashes. He flinched when Mia leaned in with the glue, but she just smiled. "Trust me, once these are on, you'll never want to take them off." The fake lashes fluttered like wings. With every blink, he looked more feminine, more complete. Then came the wig. Mia adjusted it, brushed it, and began curling it with expert hands. "You're lucky," she said. "Your face is so androgynous. Honestly, you could model." Ryan let out a soft laugh. "Yeah, right." Emma chimed in from the next chair. "She's not wrong, Riley. You look incredible." He smiled, unsure whether to feel proud or horrified. Then Mia moved behind him and tilted the mirror forward. "Ready?" Ryan looked. The reflection didn't show a nervous guy in costume. It showed a girl, a confident, gorgeous, picture-perfect girl with flawless lashes, styled curls, and nails to die for. His mouth opened slightly. That's me?" Emma popped into the frame beside him, snapping a selfie.
Yup.
"You're officially glam, Riley." They moved to a side room for a quick foot massage while their hair and nails dried. Ryan leaned back in the chair, the scent of lavender surrounding him, heels off, skirt riding up slightly as he relaxed. "This feels illegal," he mumbled. Emma giggled. You mean amazing. Admit it, you're loving every second. He didn't answer at first, but the smile creeping across his lips was all the answer she needed. They took a few more selfies after the session. In every photo, Ryan looked more confident, more radiant. Like he'd stopped pretending to be Riley and had become her. When they stepped out of the salon, the sun hit his glossy hair just right. People turned to look, not in confusion, in admiration. "Queen of them all," Emma whispered, slipping her arm around his. And for the first time, Ryan didn't feel like he was playing dress-up. He felt beautiful. Riley twirled in front of the boutique's mirror, marveling, no, shocked, at how effortlessly feminine he looked. The salon magic, the curve-hugging skirt, the heels that clicked with every step. He'd gone from embarrassed to ethereal. But before he could savor the moment too long, Emma turned to him with that devilish gleam. "I have one last dare." Riley's stomach flipped. "Emma, you've got to walk them all. Alone." His mouth dropped open. "Wait, by myself?" She nodded, arms crossed. "All the way from this end to the food court. You've got to walk like you belong. Like you are her. Confident.
Proud.
Flawless." He shook his head. "That's too far. I mean, what if someone recognizes me? What if?" Emma stepped forward and gently placed a finger on his lips. "Riley," she said slowly, "you look like a dream. No one is going to think Ryan is under all that glam. But if you back out now..." She let the sentence hang. He swallowed. "What happens if I back out?" She smirked. "Then you wear that outfit to school on Monday. And I post our selfie." His heart stopped. "You wouldn't." "Try me," she said sweetly, giving him a wink. He looked down at himself. Long lashes, glowing skin, glossy lips, perfect nails. His styled wig framed his face with soft curls. His skirt swayed when he shifted his weight. The heels made his calves pop. He looked like he belonged in a TikTok glow-up video, not his old life. "Okay," he whispered. Emma raised an eyebrow. "What was that?" He cleared his throat. "Okay, I'll do it." "Good girl," she purred. "I'll be watching." With that, she stepped aside and gave him a little wave. Riley took a breath. Then another. "You're Riley now. Not Ryan. Riley. Queen of them all. Let's go." He took his first step. The heels clacked sharply against the polished floor, echoing like a drum roll in his head. Every step felt like a spotlight was on him. He kept his head high, like Emma said, and pushed his shoulders back. People were looking. 2 older women turned and whispered. A guy did a double take. A girl nudged her friend and pointed. He nearly ran back. But then, a group of teen girls walked past. One of them glanced over, smiled wide, and said, "Gorgeous makeup, girl. That lip is fire." Riley blinked. "Oh, thank you." They laughed and disappeared down the hall. He took another step, then another. With each stride, his confidence grew. He felt his hips sway more naturally, his posture straighten, his fear melt into the rhythm of his heels. He passed a window and caught his reflection. His walk, his hair, his outfit.
Who was that?
It wasn't Ryan. It was Riley, the confident girl he never thought he could be. At the halfway mark, things got interesting. A tall guy in joggers and a hoodie stepped beside him near the fountain. "Hey," he said smoothly. "You dropped something." Riley blinked. "What?" "Just my heart," the guy said with a grin. He froze. Was he being hit on? His instinct screamed run, but another voice inside said, "Play it cool." Riley would. He smiled politely, brushing hair behind his ear. "That's cute." The guy gave him a once-over, grinned, and walked off. "Have a good one, beautiful." Riley stood there for a second, pulse racing. Then he laughed. He actually laughed. He turned and kept walking, faster now, heels clicking like applause behind him. By the time he reached the food court, he felt like royalty. Heads turned. Eyes followed. And for once, it didn't scare him. He found Emma sitting at a table, sipping a smoothie. She looked up, saw him strut across the tiled floor, and slow-clapped. "Queen behavior," she said. "You pass." Riley sat down, breathless, but glowing. I was terrified. You didn't show it. He smirked. Honestly, I didn't even feel it by the end.
She leaned in.
So, how does it feel? He paused, then answered honestly. Empowering. Like, I owned it. Like I owned me. Emma smiled. Told you you'd make a fabulous queen. Riley looked around the mall, the same place he'd dreaded walking through an hour ago. Now it felt like his runway. And maybe, just maybe, Riley wasn't just a punishment name anymore. Riley kicked off the heels with a sigh of relief, rubbing his sore feet as he collapsed onto Emma's bed. The glam walk through the mall had been a rush, but now that the adrenaline was wearing off, he was ready to ditch the lashes and breathe again. Okay, he panted. I did it. Challenge complete. I survived. Emma flopped next to him, grinning. You didn't just survive, you slayed. You were magnetic out there. Yeah, he said, waving her off. Now help me get out of the skirt before I snap the zipper. But Emma didn't move. She sat up slowly and looked at him, eyes sparkling with a mischievous glint Riley was quickly learning to fear. You know, she said, you've gotten really good at this. Riley narrowed his eyes. Emma? She reached under the bed and pulled out a pink duffel bag. It had glittery hearts on the side. I have a proposal, she said. He sat up warily. What kind of proposal? A new challenge. One that doesn't end at the mall. He blinked. Emma, I just walked across the entire mall in full girl mode. Alone. Exactly, she said with a grin. And now, I dare you to stay that way. What? She unzipped the bag, revealing outfits. Dresses. Pajamas. Accessories. Makeup kits. Even underwear.
For the whole weekend, she said.
Friday night through Sunday night. You stay, Riley, at my place, full glam, no backing out. Riley's mouth opened, but no sound came out. I'll even call my parents and say you're staying over for project work, she continued casually. They won't question it. We'll have girl nights, do TikToks, binge rom-coms, maybe hit the park tomorrow. All as Riley. That's insane, he said, standing up. You want me to live as a girl for 48 hours? Emma tilted her head. Unless you're too scared. His jaw clenched. You really like pushing, don't you? She smiled. It's only fun when someone's on the edge. And you, Riley, are right at the edge of something interesting. He looked down at himself, still dressed, still in makeup, still looking more like a pretty teenage girl than the boy who had walked into her room that afternoon. Stay like this for 2 whole days? It was ridiculous. But then again, hadn't he just strutted through a crowded mall in heels and loved every second of it? I have conditions, he said slowly. Emma's eyes lit up. Go on. I'm not doing anything in public without your support. If we go out, you're with me the whole time.
Deal.
And if at any point I say I'm done, like truly done, it stops. Done. He exhaled. And you're sure we won't get caught? Emma giggled.
Please.
My parents adore you, and they'll be gone half of tomorrow anyway. It's perfect. Riley paced a bit. He shouldn't do this. He really shouldn't. But then he saw his reflection in the vanity mirror, long lashes fluttering, soft lips pouting, curls bouncing around his face. That wasn't Ryan. That was Riley. And she looked curious. I can't believe I'm saying this, he muttered. But I'll do it. Emma squealed. Yes. She tossed the duffel bag onto the bed and started pulling out clothes like it was Christmas morning. I've got a cute lilac pajama set for tonight, she said, holding up a silky camisole and matching shorts. Then, tomorrow, floral dress and sandals for the park. Then, maybe something glam for dinner? We'll plan the outfits after we do facials. Riley shook his head, laughing despite himself. You seriously planned all this? Emma looked at him over her shoulder. Riley, she said sweetly, I've been dreaming of this challenge since you said you'd never last a day in a skirt. He blinked. You mean this whole thing? She shrugged. You walked into the trap, princess. And now you're here for the full ride. Riley sat down slowly on the bed. His hands hovered over the duffel. I should be mad. But you're not. He looked at her and smiled. No, he admitted. I'm not. Sunlight poured through the gauzy curtains of Emma's bedroom as Riley slowly blinked awake. For a moment, he had no idea where he was. The soft sheets, the delicate lavender scent, the silky feeling of the fabric hugging his body, it all felt surreal. Then he sat up and the camisole strap slipped off his shoulder. His eyes widened.
Right.
The challenge. He looked down. He was still in the lilac pajama set Emma had picked for him, the shorts riding high on his thighs, the satin top clinging lightly to his frame. He caught a glimpse of himself in the vanity mirror, curls loosely pinned, mascara faintly smudged under his eyes, lips slightly tinted. No, he hadn't dreamed it. Riley was still Riley. Before he could process that any further, the bedroom door swung open. "Morning, sunshine." Emma burst in, holding 2 iced coffees. "Time to start day 1 of your girlhood weekend." He blinked blearily. "You're way too chipper for this hour." "Beauty doesn't sleep in," she said, handing him the coffee with a wink. "We've got a full schedule, facials, outfits, a walk in the park, and maybe smoothies downtown if you're brave." Riley groaned, taking a sip. "Can't we start with a shower and mild existential dread?" She laughed. "Showers next. Dread optional. Now go rinse. I left everything set up." He dragged himself into the bathroom, where Emma had set out a pink headband, cleanser, razor, and a new floral robe. Riley paused. The robe was definitely girly, short, soft, with lace at the collar. But he shrugged. He'd already crossed the line. Might as well own it. The shower felt good, cleansing in more ways than one. He shaved carefully where Emma had instructed the night before, lathering his face and smoothing his legs. Afterward, wrapped in the floral robe, he returned to find Emma laying out makeup supplies. "This is going to be fun," she said. "Full glam, but park-friendly. Think effortless beauty." As she worked on his face, foundation, blush, eyeshadow, Riley stared at himself in the mirror. He was starting to see it now. Not just the makeup, the softness, the expression, the way his lips parted when he concentrated. He was seeing her. "Now for the dress," Emma said, holding up 2 options. One was a white sundress with tiny yellow flowers. The other was a powder blue wrap dress with ruffles. "Pick your poison, pretty girl." Riley hesitated, then pointed to the yellow one. "That one." Emma grinned. A classic choice. Once dressed, she handed him a pair of nude strappy sandals. "Walk around the room first. Get used to them again."
He did.
The sandals weren't as intense as the stilettos from the mall, but they still gave him that click-clack feeling that made his heart race. An hour later, they were in the park. At first, Riley kept his eyes low, shoulders hunched. Every voice, every laugh felt like it was aimed at him. But Emma looped her arm through his and leaned in. "Relax," she whispered. "You're just a girl out with her bestie. No one knows. No one cares." And slowly he began to believe her. They sat under a tree with smoothies and watched people pass. Kids on scooters. Couples walking dogs. Friends snapping selfies. Then it happened. 2 college-aged guys walked past, glancing at the girls lounging under the tree. One gave a polite smile and said, "Hey, ladies." Riley froze. Emma waved. "Hey." The guys kept walking. Riley stared after them. Did he just call us ladies? Emma said, "Yep." He turned red. "But he thought I was a girl," she finished. "Because today you are." His pulse thundered. "I can't believe that happened." "You should. You look amazing." He wasn't sure what stunned him more, the fact that he had passed or how good it felt. Later, as they walked home, a car honked. Riley flinched. Emma just laughed. "That's your first catcall. Welcome to girlhood." They spent the rest of the afternoon painting their nails and gossiping about people from school. At one point, Emma's friend Kate texted, asking if she wanted to meet for bubble tea. Emma showed Riley the message. "I told her I had plans with a friend. Want to risk it?" Riley bit his lip. "What if she recognizes me?" Emma tilted her head. Only one way to find out. They agreed to meet Kate at a nearby cafe. Riley was a bundle of nerves, fidgeting with the hem of his dress the entire way. Kate arrived, waved at Emma, and gave Riley a casual smile. "Hey, I'm Kate." Riley cleared his throat, pitched his voice higher.
Hi. I'm
"Riley." Kate blinked. "Pretty name." He almost fainted. Emma beamed the whole time, and as they walked home afterward, she looked over and said, "Told you could do it." He didn't answer. He was too busy processing the fact that he'd been seen, accepted, and treated like just another girl. And for the first time, that idea didn't feel terrifying. It felt freeing. Sunday morning came too quickly. Riley lay awake, staring at the ceiling, tangled in soft sheets, the faint scent of lavender still clinging to his skin. For a full minute, he didn't move. He just felt. And what he felt wasn't dread. It was something close to longing. Emma poked her head in. "You awake?" He nodded. She entered carrying another iced coffee, this time topped with whipped cream and sprinkles. "Final day, gorgeous. Let's make it count." Riley sat up slowly. "You sure know how to spoil a girl." Emma smirked. "Only the ones who deserve it." She had something special planned today.
We're going all out, she said.
Big hair, bold lips, high heels. We're going to make them all stare. He blinked. The mall again?
Yep.
Full circle. Think of it as your victory lap. An hour later, Riley was standing in front of the vanity, his reflection completely transformed. His hair was styled in soft, voluminous curls. His lips glistened a deep berry red. A smoky eye brought out something fierce in his expression. And then there was the outfit. A cropped pink cardigan, pleated plaid skirt, and patent leather heels that made his legs look endless. "You look like trouble," Emma said, grinning proudly. "I feel like it too," Riley replied, and this time he didn't even flinch at the sound of his own voice. At the mall, the air felt different. Riley wasn't the same anxious wreck he'd been Friday night. His steps were more confident, hips swaying naturally with the rhythm of the heels. People looked. But this time, it didn't feel like danger. It felt like power. They wandered into shops, tried on clothes, laughed at outrageous fashion pieces. Riley chose a sleek little black dress just for fun and ended up twirling in the dressing room mirror, amazed at how it clung to his curves. Outside the store, a group of girls passed by, and one of them turned to say, "You have a killer walk, girl." Riley blinked. "Thanks. You're, like, effortlessly hot," another said with a wink. He laughed nervously, cheeks burning, but inside, something bloomed. Not pride, not relief.
Joy.
He was happy. Emma looped her arm through his. "Told you this would suit you." But as the day wore on and shadows grew longer in the parking lot, something cold crept into Riley's chest. The weekend was almost over. In Emma's room later, Riley sat quietly as she helped him remove his makeup. The silence between them was heavy now, full of things unsaid. Emma finally broke it. "You did it. You completed the challenge." He nodded slowly. "I guess I did." "You were amazing." "I had help." Emma smiled.
Sure.
"But the girl part? That was all you." He stared at his reflection in the mirror. Bare face now, but not blank. He could still see her. Not in the mascara or lipstick, but in the shape of his smile, the tilt of his head, the softness in his eyes. He whispered, "What happens now?" Emma leaned on the vanity beside him. "You go back to being Riley. Boy Riley." He didn't respond, because that idea didn't sit right anymore. Emma turned toward him, her expression softer now. "Or maybe you don't." He met her eyes, confused. "What do you mean?" "I mean," she reached over, touched his hand. "You've seen who you could be. Felt it. Lived it. You were beautiful, radiant, free. You smiled more this weekend than I've seen you smile in years." He exhaled shakily. "But that was just a game. A punishment." "Was it?" she asked gently, because it stopped feeling like one real fast. He swallowed hard. She was right. And he knew it. He remembered the rush of being called Miss, the way the skirt danced around his legs, the flutter in his chest when he saw her in the mirror. He whispered, "Do I have to stop?" Emma's answer came slow, deliberate, and full of knowing. "That depends. Do you want to?" The room was quiet again, but not heavy this time. It was brimming with possibility. And somewhere deep inside, a truth stirred. A truth Riley wasn't ready to speak yet, but maybe, just maybe, he was ready to live.